Hey guys, what's going on? Well, no, I'm not sitting out here without a fan running. I had to turn these off to make the video. It gets too loud in here with the fans going. So, anyway, I'm having to eat some humble pie here because I screwed up. So, I had this thing all put back together. As you can see, it was all back together and had the hubs on and the brakes on and all that, and I thought I was ready to go, and I put oil in this thing. It takes 4.5 quarts of oil, so I filled it up with oil and came out the next day without running it, and came out the next day, and I had a big huge puddle down there. The thing's under it now, but puddle just like that puddle, so that's not good. So anyway, I screwed up somewhere, so I had to take this thing all the way back apart, except I haven't taken the axles out of it. I hope I don't. I'm going to try not to. But it's no big deal if I don't, if I do or don't, really. So here's what's going on with it. So I sealed this thing up. I thought I sealed it up really well, and I think I did for the most part. With this gray RTV. It's just very good stuff. I've had a heck of a time getting this thing off here. On this camera. There we go. So anyway, so I sealed this thing up. This thing has got, the way it goes together is it has a plate that goes on, well, it has, take that back. It's weird the way this is, but it has this gasket that goes on very first. There's two gaskets that are identical. So you put this gasket on first, and then you put the plate on over that and over the course where the plate goes, and you have to seal this whole thing up. So I did that, and I don't think I did that wrong, but you do that, and then you put another, I guess, layer or whatever, sealer over it, and then there's another gasket, and then, yeah, that's weird. That's confusing me now. Get transmission, gasket, plate, gasket, pan. So here's the plate over here, and there's the pan. So I cemented the crap out of this thing, sealed it, and I thought I was going good. And I noticed one thing is it leaked a little bit. It dripped just a little bit out of the pan. I thought that was unusual, but you notice around, you look at the perimeter of this. That's one of my favorite words, by the way, is perimeter. But you look at the perimeter and it's all dry. It looks like it made a real good seal till you get down over here. This is the left-hand side, which goes there. That's the bottom right there. So you can see that it was weeping oil out around there. It looks like it obviously was. So something's not right here with this. I know I made a mistake when I put it together, which I thought was not going to be a big issue, but it was, and that was that I reused these gaskets, which look like they're in pretty good shape. But they'd taken a set, you know how gaskets tend to do when they're bolted down to something that has some sort of protrusion. So when I was putting the second gasket on, that one there, I noticed that it had the set, hang on, I think the camera's getting fogged because it's so humid. It is like a sauna out here. That didn't help, did it? Try it again. A little better. So anyway, long story short, I put the gaskets back in the wrong order. I did not have the first gasket against the transmission in where it originally went. So nevertheless, I thought the sealer would go around that, would take care of that, but I think I was wrong about this. So this axle tube filled up with oil over here. Totally. Don't mind what's on the axle tube, I mean the axle shaft itself. That's the fluid film I put on it to keep it from rusting again, hopefully. So anyway, it did its classic thing, and it filled up oil, and it leaked right out through the seal right there, which I did not want to happen because I think I'm going to have to pack that bearing again. This side didn't do that. This side was fine. That's how it should look. So I had a suspicion. I didn't think the seals were the culprit because I put those good seals in there, and I think I'm okay on that. I think my idea is sound on that. But what I did suspect was something wrong with this gasket, because you can't screw this up. I mean, you have to seal it. It's weird because you have a bearing block here and a bearing block here. That's what you see. I've already kind of explained that to you there, hopefully, but there it is. So you have to seal this thing around the bearing block. In other words, there has to be a sealer here to keep it from doing what it did, which was migrate through the gasket out into the axle. I tell you what, the engineers that developed this rear end, man, I don't have any sympathy for them if they got fired because of it. But, so anyway, here's what I think happened with this by the looks of it. This side here looks like I got it sealed pretty good because it doesn't move. I mean, it moves a little bit, but it doesn't pull out. But this side, when I was looking at it, I can move it out. It's not very apparent on camera, but I can tell that it's not very sealed. That's how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be just solid, but it's not. It's moving around. So I think somewhere like right there. See that spot right there? I think there's a void in there, and it just let the oil just go right through it. So anyway, like I always say, if you screw it up the first time or the second time, you got to just go back and fix it. So that's what I did. I'm going back and fixing it. But to keep myself from spiraling into a deep depression about this and going into some sort of emotional tailspin, let's do a cold start on this thing. You guys have never heard this mower run. I don't think you have. So I haven't heard it run in about a year. And actually, in the spirit of disclosure here, it has been running. I've already done that, but I filmed it separately. So this is taking it apart after the fact, but I got new batteries for it the other day and got it all ready to go. So I'm going to clip that video in here with some light editing for clarity, and we're going to get this thing running. So anyway, I'll do that and get you guys up something to watch here, tide you over to the next fascinating installation on this thing. So, all right, without further ado, let's give her. Okay, finally, I've been standing here just one foot to the other because I'm waiting on a train to go by. The CSX is running one of their mile-long super trains that they run periodically through here, and they just grind up this hill here about 20 miles an hour, on and on and on. So it would be different. I love trains. It would be different if I could see them. I can't see them. I'll just hear them. So I have to hear them when I don't want to hear them. Other times I don't mind. So, all right, so check the oil. It's full of oil. Check my dash lights. I have an oil light, oil pressure lamp, functional. I do not have a charge light, even though I changed the bulb in it. So I don't know what's up with that. Pressurize the fuel system. It does not appear to have any leaks, so it's good. I got the choke freed up and working now. Somewhat. Needs a little bit more attention, I think. But anyways, that's enough for now. So I'm going to try this without jumping this thing back here. I don't think it's going to work. So I got to hurry this up a little bit, because usually when there's a big long southbound train go by, there's a northbound waiting in the siding down here to come the other way. All right. Ready? Here we go. I got an overflower there, huh? Let's see. Yep. Okay. Got a float sticking in it. But it ran. you know how we fix that, don't you? A time-tested solution for a stick and float. Worked actually. Okay, so it runs. We know it runs now. But I told you, did I not tell you? No, I'm not going to start all that. I've made you guys all suffer with the complaints about the residents and the neighbors, so that's okay. We heard what we wanted to hear here. It's interesting that I didn't have to jump that safety back there. Maybe somebody's already jumped it somewhere. But the carburetor is going to need to be gone through because it's, even with the choke open, it's just burning my eyes. It's so rich. And so anyway, that's okay. I'll get a kit ordered for it. I never found what the number is on this carburetor. I already kind of researched that.